Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ken Mejia Beal.
He's back.
He's back. There we are. And fortunately, we have our guest is back as well.
Yes.
He has been a busy man lately. He's had a very productive veto session in the state legislature. He's just doing everything he can to help all those folks on SNAP benefits. And by the way, he's also running for Congress.
Yes.
And he is here right now. State Senator Mike Simmons, welcome back to the show.
Ooh.
Hey, Scott, it's good to see you again.
Oh my gosh, your voice is like a balm to me. How are you holding up, Senator?
I'm soldiering along. I mean, it is. Somebody asked me the other day, "Am I having fun running for Congress?" And by the way, I'm Mike Simmons. I serve as state senator for the far north side of Chicago. So if you live in the neighborhoods of Andersonville, Ravenswood, Uptown, Edgewater, Rogers Park, Lincoln Square, West Ridge, I am likely your state senator. I am black. I am queer. I have dreadlocks, and I am here for the fight. In the 4.5 years I've been in the state senate, I've passed nearly 50 bills into law. So that's the background. I am running for Congress in the 9th District, which includes those neighborhoods, plus Evanston, Skokie, Buffalo Grove and Lake County, Niles, Crystal Lake, Algonquin, and parts of McHenry County and Lake County. Excited to be running. And listen, you asked me about SNAP in a veto session last week. Mm-hmm. We are seeing assault after assault from the Trump administration on our civil rights with these unprecedented immigration raids that are tearing apart our communities. My district on the far north side of Chicago has been one of the hardest hit. Mm-hmm. And we also are seeing that the Trump administration has made the cruel decision to cut SNAP benefits. Never seen anything like this in our lives. I've been proud to push back. We are converting my 7th district office at 1040 West Bryn Mawr has become a mutual aid hub where we're taking food donations. We're giving food to people. I am personally donating or distributing food to people who are too afraid to leave the house right now because of the damn ice. And, we're continuing to see developments on this, but we're not going to wait for people in Washington to act like adults when it comes to the issue of hunger. And I'm honored to represent a community that has stepped up to make sure that we can feed ourselves during this government shutdown.
And
wow.
yes,
yeah.
And let me tell you, you've got two proud constituents right here
yes.
in studio who I could not be. In fact, actually, that was the reason why I reached out to you in your campaign. I'm like, I got the e-blast that came out when you were saying, the SNAP benefits are going to be running out on the 1st. We're still waiting. Of course, now it's this weird sort of nebulous sort of when the funding is going to be released, but the fact that you are stepping up directly to help the community, you are there doing it, and it's at your district office. Like that is it makes me very, very proud that you are my state legislator.
I want to second that. We were talking before you got on, Senator Simmons, and I said having you as a state senator is amazing for a few reasons, but one of the big reasons is because you do more than talk. You actually do the work, and your heart is in it, and I'm very proud to be a constituent.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Ken, and I really try to, activate my lived experiences. I'll say for folks that are listening, the 9th congressional district race this is the first time we've had an open primary in 28 years. And some folks have asked what differentiates me in this crowded field. And what I say is that not only do I have deep roots here in the 9th District, I grew up in scattered site public housing in Lincoln Square, and housing that had been built as a result of the 1976 landmark Supreme Court decision that desegregated public housing in Chicago. I am the first generation of Chicago kids that got to grow up in that housing in an integrated community. And the thing is, we may have been in Lincoln Square, but we were poor. Okay, not middle class, not low income. There were winters where my family could not afford hot water. There were winters when we depended on SNAP. Mm-hmm. And I remember my grandmother in 1995 when the Republicans took over Congress and cut food stamps. I remember how that hit my family. And we're seeing that happen right now to the 10th degree. And it's cruel. It is fascist. It is disgraceful. And so I am proud to be running in this Democratic primary for Congress in the 9th District, talking about surviving this type of policy violence in my own life in this district, and how when I get to Washington, I'm going to be fighting these fights, tapping into that lived experiences and the lived experiences of tens of thousands of people that live all across the 10th District, from Uptown to Rogers Park to Evanston, Skokie, and beyond. And that is the fight that's needed right now, because the war that has been declared on Chicagoland, not just the city of Chicago, but also the suburbs, the thugs that we saw pulling people out of cars last Friday in Evanston, literally the day after I got back from veto session. And then on Monday, they came into Rogers Park and abducted 10 more people, including my neighbors, somebody who lives on the next block from me. You better believe that I'm coming into this field as somebody that can fight this fight, who is on the ground, who is from the communities in the 9th District, and who has the passion and the fervor of the people in this district who have survived these hostile policies and programs, and who need a fighter who is going to go in there on the first day of introducing legislation and arguing for the people of this district. That's what makes me stand out in this field.
Okay. Oh. Yes.
All
All of the
right
yeses,
there.
right there.
Right there.
Yeah, no, but as Ken was saying, like you walk the walk too.
Yeah.
Your legislative history and career, it's like it's tremendous.
It is great,
how much you have gotten accomplished since you've been elected to the Illinois State Senate. I do also. Look, I want to talk about ICE some more, because ICE is now also is in my neighborhood as well.
Same.
They were down the street from me earlier this week. They nabbed a landscaper, and it appears to have pulled a gun on a neighbor who was just pulling out of her driveway. It makes me mad. I am so furious right now that this is happening in our city, and like these goons are just running amok. Just really quickly, in terms of like a statewide thing, was there any discussion within the state legislature, or just with Governor Pritzker when you were down in Springfield, about how folks can help protect our communities, or even how the state can help protect our communities?
Yeah, so last week I was proud to vote for legislation, House Bill 1342, which is 1312, that will counter ICE. So this is really important for people to know. So we passed legislation out of the state Senate and the state House, out of both houses of state government last week in Illinois, that does the following. It gets ICE the hell out of our courts. Specifically, they will not be able to carry out enforcement activity within 1,000 feet of our courts. We have seen ICE detaining people going back and forth to court who are asylum seekers, who are following the law. Literally, constituents of mine have been abducted during that process. That's a problem. This legislation addresses that. Moreover, it would keep ICE away from our early childhood centers. Timely policy and legislation, because literally yesterday we saw in North Center on Wednesday, November 5th, a daycare teacher who the ICE agents ran after her into a building that was secured and dragged her out screaming. The community was outraged. I stood with the community in North Center last night, in utter outrage at the fascism and the violence that we're seeing unhurled upon us as a free society. Scott, it should make you angry. It literally makes me want to vomit, seeing that. And this legislation will counter that, and it also gives citizens who have been unlawfully detained by ICE agents a private right of action to sue those ICE agencies, to sue them for violating their constitutional rights under the Fourth Amendment. That is legislation that I proudly voted for 1 week ago today in the Illinois Senate veto session. And I stood up and I spoke proudly for that legislation. And I also clapped back at the hateful Republicans who stood there during the floor debate on this bill, and the filth that came out of their mouths, the despicable slander referring to my constituents and my neighbors who are educators, who are daycare teachers, who are children, who are U.S. citizens, referring to them as criminals. I have an uncle who lives in Evanston who's Ethiopian, who will not leave his apartment without a copy of his passport. Are you saying that my uncle is an animal? And so I was proud to shout them down, which we need, by the way. We need more Democrats that will get up and who are not complacent and who don't just listen to people in our communities and not speak up and express the outrage of the people. And so I'm proud that we passed that legislation last week. I've called on the governor yesterday to sign that legislation. I expect that he will, because this is timely legislation that we absolutely need to be the public policy of Illinois right now, because these ICE raids are happening every day, multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And I actually saw your video this morning, and thank you as a constituent and as a human being with an IQ above 5 for standing up and correcting the language that they use, because they tend to the Republicans tend to use language that demonizes everybody, and it's an attempt to normalize this behavior. So I appreciated the way you spoke. I appreciated the passion, because they need to know we are not criminals. We are people that work and we love our neighbors. Like, we love our neighbors.
Yeah.
We love our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I was proud to deliver that message.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you can tell there's passion. I really wish you could be. I'm sitting here staring at Ken's shirt that says "openly uppity."
I'm wearing my openly uppity shirt.
Which I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I just want to give this to all my friends.
I no longer apologize.
Right? But that's what we need.
Yes.
That's what we need.
No
Somebody
more
who's going to be
apologies.
representing us up, no more apologies. Someone who's really going to be finally like, look, we cannot be, again, clutching our pearls.
Yes.
We've got to put on the boxing gloves and get in the ring. And Senator Mike Simmons, you are in the ring, and you have been in the ring for Illinois. You've been in the ring for your district, for your constituents, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen when you. On your journey towards Congress, that's going on here. How do you have any events that are going to be coming up so that folks who live within your district, who are like, okay, I need somebody who's going to take action. Your legislative career has just been off the charts.
Right.
how they can get to know you and hear your message.
Yes. So the first thing is please go to MikeSimmons.org, MikeSimmons.org. Check out my congressional website. There's a video up there that I think tells a really good, quick 90-second story of my life, my work in the state Senate as the first openly LGBTQ person to ever be elected to the Illinois Senate, the only one serving there today, and potentially the first openly LGBTQ person to represent any of Chicago in Congress. That happens if I win this primary on March 17th because it's a very Democratic seat. So I need your listeners, if you're down with that cause, and you understand the power of my candidacy and the power of representation, having intersectional representation, myself as the son of an Ethiopian asylum seeker and an African-American woman, having grown up poor in the 9th District, and having 50 bills under my name in just 4.5 years in the state Senate, representing a new generation of unapologetic leaders who are unafraid to roll around in the rink and to fight the good fight. Check out MikeSimmons.org. I'm on Instagram at Senator Mike Simmons. Follow me there. That's my congressional campaign Instagram. I'm also on Blue Sky at Mike Simmons Ill. I'm on TikTok. I just broke 1,000 followers. I'm getting better with TikTok.
Good for you.
At Mike Simmons for Ill. And then, I want to also ask, I'm not taking corporate PAC dollars. I'm not taking a dime from APAC. I am running on the power of the people, and that's how we're going to win this primary. We are not the establishment campaign. When I won my state Senate district, the establishment told me to pound sand, and we pulled off an upset, and we're going to do it again in this congressional primary. So I need your listeners to go to MikeSimmons.org, hit donate, and bring in those grassroots donations, because that money is allowing us to build our campaign, to grow our volunteer corps. We just opened our campaign office in Rogers Park, 1441 West Moore Street, right off the Morris Red Line. Come volunteer with us. make those donations so I don't have to take money from corporate interests. And when we get to Washington, when we get to Congress, we are going to shake this up in the way that Donald Trump, I represent his worst nightmare. I symbolize
Really do.
everything.
You really do. And I just want to add this for folks when it comes to donating. If you feel like you don't have enough, volunteering is great, but also become a small dollar monthly donor. Every dollar goes somewhere. I got you, Senator. Small dollar monthly donors. Do it. I'm just helping. I'm helping the senator out.
As you should. State Senator Mike Simmons, I want to thank you for all of the work that you have done in your career as a state senator. I want to thank you for all the work that you are doing right now to help our community, especially those folks. What are the hours, by the way, for the hub for SNAP that you set up?
People can drop off food at 1040 West Bryn Mawr in the Edgewater neighborhood of Chicago. That's my district office, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can drop off food. And also for your listeners out there who are on hard times and who are hungry, there is no shame in being hungry. I remember what it was like to be hungry when I was a kid, and a few times as an adult when times got hard. Come to my office. We have a bunch of yummy food for you. We got beans, pasta, peanut butter, mashed potatoes, soups. We have diapers. We have toiletries. We have toothpaste. And our neighbors that come in, we love you. This is not, hunger is never something that we bring upon ourselves. This is political violence that has been unleashed on us through these SNAP cuts. Correct. And I, as a state senator, Mike Simmons, I'm going to take care of my people.
I know, and that's why, and we cannot wait for you to take care of us when you are in Congress as well. So, Senator Mike Simmons, thank you again for all that you do, and best of luck as you continue the campaign.
Yes, best of luck.
All right, thanks, boys.